Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
Ooh, you know what time it is.
Ah! Turn the fucking jets on! Turn the fucking jets on!
Arm the laser.
I'm in the laser! Begin laser ignition!
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, big hopes and dreams as we cover our Kings. We never cover the King, but we loving our Kings, and we cover your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce, we can part, little Mo on the string. Solo or together, still do it for teams. Never switch up for a dollar, but revenue streams. So we always got each other. Balance out the bank, Deuce and Mo. Never switch up for a dollar, but revenue streams. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Balance out the Deuce and Mo. Hey, do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, that's my favorite show. Yep, do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey, do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, yeah. What up, Deuce?
We are live!
I'm rooting for y'all.
A little echo for a second, but who cares?
Let's go, Kings.
Last time I checked, it's a Friday night. The Kings just completed a 6-game road trip where they are now headed home at 3-3 and 16-12 on the season. I'm Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan from the NBC Sports California studios in San Francisco. How are you feeling on a Friday night, Morgan?
Oh, you already know. You already know. Oh, what are you doing?
Just close the doors.
I never trust you now. Like, don't. Ah! So stupid.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Deuce and Mo podcast proudly brings to you the best NBA and Kings podcast in the world. It's the basketball mind, Deuce Mason. It's TV's Morgan Reagan. It's the Deuce and Mo podcast. And if you're not down with 16-12, if you're not down for the surging Kings, we got 2 words for you. Why not?
Why not? So stupid. I love it. I love it. Your vibe. I dig it this time. I'm actually more into it. Yeah, take it off. Good. But I dig it. Oh, and did Deuce Mason get a haircut?
Oh, yeah. Looking fresh today. We're feeling good. We're feeling right. Woo. Morgan Reagan. Honestly, this is fun, man. This is fun. I feel like every part of the season we go, hey, man, we're going to learn a lot about this team, right? Over this chunk. Kings just went 3-3 on a tough 6-game road trip. Couple of hiccups along the way. Couple of games you go, you wish you had that Knicks game back. You wish you played better in Philly. maybe had a chance in Milwaukee, but you finished the right way. And you come home, you are 16-12. When you come home, you play 11 of the next 13 games at home when it starts Monday night against those bums from Charlotte.
Bums. Dude, it's a good feeling. It's a good place to be. And I mean, there is always something new about a new team, especially that you can learn from, that you can go, okay, this is another test, because it's not like we've seen this long of a road trip before and seen them succeed. And when I say before, I'm talking about this season, and seen them succeed and deal with adversity and downward slopes and slumps from players and injuries, and the way that they fought through it. It was just, it's good right now. It's really good.
They're a good team. It's okay. Hey,
I know.
Kings fans, it's okay to say it. Morgan, Reagan, if Matt Barnes and Kenny Thomas are still there, let them know. It's okay to say it. They're a good team. I'm not saying they'll win a champion. They don't win a championship. It's fine. That's a good team. This is what good teams do. The good teams find ways to finish it up. Long 6-game road trip. They got off to kind of an ugly start. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot a few times in that first half. But guess what good teams do? They go, buckle up. Is that how's this? Give me the buckle up sound. Hold on. That's your buckle up? No, it's like.
Oh, how about this?
Buckle up. End of a road trip. Bench wasn't really playing well. You're missing one bench guy tonight. Your guys step up again. Your starters were outstanding, and you closed. You found a way to close. You came out of the third quarter and played your asses off. I love it.
Wait, did we already start the pod?
No. This is kind of the pre-show right now. I'm feeling good right now. If you're here, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. That helps our channel grow. Seriously, it helps our channel blow up. So Kings fans, NBA fans from all over the world see it. Also, hit the subscribe button. We're closing in on 9,000 subs. I can't wait till we get there. It's close. I keep thinking that like tonight's going to be the night, but you never know.
It's not about the conclusion. It's about the journey, Deuce Mason. So you need to enjoy the ride to 9,000. I mean, how fun. This has been so fun having so many people just enjoy one another and enjoy. Like, I probably shit talked far too much in the NBC studios to all the Warriors people, because like I'm thinking I'm funny, but really they're probably like, this isn't fun for us. Please stop. Like, we're not used to this. Please stop.
They aren't.
Wait, can I tell you one fun thing?
Go ahead.
So before the game, and I know we'll talk about this, but Darrell Wright is also going to be in Vegas. So we'll be able to see him, and he's doing the pre and post for the Warriors. And so I went to Studio A where Bonte, Chris Mullen, Festus, and Darrell Wright are, and I'm talking to Darrell. I come out, and one of the VPs with NBC sees me, and he's like, "Hey, you're in the wrong studio." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not supposed to be with those losers."
Hell yeah. And his response was?
I think he looked at me like, who is this girl?
You know what you should have said is like, no, look at the standings. Look at the standings and get back to me. When's Steph coming back? I know, I love it. It's like, get a little cockiness. It's like, yeah, it's weird. 16-12, what? It's the best start since 04-05. That was a long time ago. Long time ago. Let's give some love to the chat, Morgan. The people who were here. Morgan, I looked up last year at this time. I actually might bring that up on the actual podcast. Last year at this time, through 28 games, the Kings were 11-17.
Wow.
And it was not good.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Even at 11-17, it's just like, it was just ugly.
Yes. They're 11-17. So I appreciate, these are the moments throughout a year, during the highs and lows, when I appreciate so much this community that hangs out after games, that, you know, these people were hanging out with us during 9-game losing skids. Like multiple 9-game losing skids in the last year too.
Amazing.
It's been a fun ride. Enjoy the moment, man. Should we do a little roll call?
Do roll call.
All right, let's make sure I got the Twitch people open too. I got to shout out all of them watching live on Twitch. Roll call time. It's a Friday night.
Give me a hell yeah.
Are you fired up?
Turn the fucking death zone. Turn the fucking death zone.
Shout out to Kessie, one of the OGs who was here during the dark times. We got Reindeer 5 and Pop 2 wrestling, but we're not done because we're going to YouTube. And we got to see the YouTube people, including we got Mrs. Mac Megadeth, Jesse James, we got Mike and Christian, and one of the OGs from a long time ago. We got Ken from our radio days checking in. We got Be Well and Sato. Colton and Homer James, he goes way back with us. We got loyal Sac Kings fan. Jay Scott. Oh, did Kenneth, our guy? Of course, Kenneth is here. He gifted 50 memberships. We got Jesse. We got May, and Megan is in the building with JD and L. Train. Nick says, why not Fernando? And West Sac Kings fan with double A. Yukin, Miguel, Nick, Jeff Hardy rules. Yo, Miss L, Arco's Ghost, and John Dealey. You want to keep going, Morgan? Should we give some love to J-Rock and to Tom and Gavano and Shiesty? I love it. Morgan, give some love to Eric and Kent. That's when you're supposed to go. Something. You don't have anything? Oh. Fine. You know what? I have something for you.
Arm the laser.
I'm in the laser! Begin laser ignition!
Fire the laser!
Not as good on the road, but we'll take it. Let me toast to you guys on a Friday night before we start the pod. A little Chimay. Yeah, that's good, Morgan.
Wow, I'm a little jealous. I've got sparkling water.
Yeah, that's great too. Sparkling water is great. All right, let's get it started. Appreciate everyone being here. Hit the thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. Let's get to 9,000 subs either tonight or next week. Deuce and Mo.
Give me a hell yeah.
Coming down in 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on a Friday night after the Kings' long 6-game road trip is all over. And they are flying home happy. The beam is lit in Sacktown as the Kings wrap up a 6-game trip 3-3. They beat the Pistons tonight in Detroit 122-113. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. The Kings are 16-12. It's their best start through 28 games since 2004-2005 when they were 19-9. It's a long way to go, Morgan Reagan, but best start since 04-05. That's something we're celebrating on a Friday night. How are you?
I'm great. And you say a long way to go, and it's like perspective, people. It's sports. It's not supposed to just be like, hey, you're dog shit one year and then you're just amazing the next. There has to be, not always, but most times in most situations, there's going to be that gradual time period where you just grow and find yourselves and your identity and so many other things to become a better team. And that's what we're seeing, but I still feel like we're seeing it at such a faster rate.
The growth has been there. What Mike Brown's been able to do has been tremendous, and they're getting some high-level play from their really good players, including Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. You know, Morgan, this last game of the road trip's always weird. People talk about it all the time. And 6 games, the first week on the road is kind of the fun time, right? You get to see some new cities. But now, you're in the second week, you're itching to go home. The holidays are coming up. You see the homestand. But like Jordy says, it's a business trip. Finish the job. And they did finish the job. I was a little concerned headed into tonight because it's a Pistons team that's been bad. You played them earlier this season. They put up 129 points on you. You had to escape with a win. Tonight, it got off to a really ugly start in this one. Were you concerned at all at any point during the game that this was going to be a disappointing game?
100%.
I wasn't.
Wow.
No, there was a lot of self-inflicted things tonight.
But can I tell you why? The reason why I was mostly because of the 2 losses that we did see when they couldn't find a way out of it. And it felt a little bit like not that dead in that first half, but it felt like moments were happening and too big of moments. And then when Detroit went on that run leading into the half, I was just like, oh no, the Kings just aren't going to respond. They just don't have it tonight. Why would I doubt this team? They have proven to me time after time after time, for the most part, that they know how to respond. They know how to find it within to find the will to win.
Yeah, the first half, they were down 63-55, and giving up 63 points was just so frustrating to see. And it just seemed like even with the Kings turnovers, you're just like, well, there's sloppy passes here. Like it just seemed like they were completely out of sync. We should also know they were playing without Davion Mitchell tonight. He missed the game with a non-COVID illness, so that kind of hurt the bench group. But yeah, it seemed like there were a lot of issues with the offense just getting into stuff at times. The passes weren't crisp, and it was sloppy at first. And then you just had issues with Bojan Bogdanovic, who, again, just seems like a Kings killer at times with straight line drives and getting to the basket. And it seemed like we were headed to a game like we saw in Sacramento in November between these two teams.
Yeah, it was there was times I was definitely nervous, but it was great to see again De'Aaron Fox have another good game. Kevin Huerter starting to hit some outside shots. There was a little bit from everyone that gave me the confidence. I think really though, in that first half too, Deuce, you look at the bench and the way that Malik Monk started that game, the way that Terrence Davis came off the bench as well, especially when things seemed flat with that first unit. It was great that they could rely on that for a little bit. And now it didn't continue throughout the entire game, but they didn't need it to, especially in that second half when the first unit just did a much better job of playing their game.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things even in that first half. The 4:02 mark of the first quarter, Sabonis picks up his second foul. He's looking over at the bench like, don't take me out. And they did take him out, and he was pissed. Like, he even ran by Brown. He even stopped to talk to him. He wanted to stay in that game. He's just a competitive dude. The Kings end up going with Chimezie Metu like they have been. That group really struggled. I know you highlighted kind of Davis and Monk, who performed well, but Chimezie Metu and Delhi didn't look great tonight. And I think the Kings are in an interesting spot with his like backup 5 spot, because I think they've gotten a lot of good things out of Chimezie Metu, right? Like he's played more in control, a little better defense, but I do feel like he's been trending down a little more often lately.
It's not consistent enough from him when we do see him do the right things, right? Like when you see him during his good times, it's because it's literally because of the way that he is playing basketball. And that way is just super disciplined to what Mike Brown wants these guys to do. It's a team style of basketball. And when he just doesn't go that way and takes his own path, it just breaks down for everyone, whether it's on the defensive end, whether it's on the offensive end and not making the extra pass. It's not even like a selfishness. It's more of just an awareness, like a basketball IQ thing for him. And I think with him, he needs to understand that that is going to be the best way that he succeeds in the NBA is by really listening to what Mike Brown and this coaching staff is telling him how to play basketball. And it's the right way.
Sometimes you have an off night too. He had a couple of nice looks inside early that I felt like he just rushed. He had no touch on it. And it's they're shots he was kind of making a couple of weeks back. So guys are going to be up and down. I think you could look at maybe trying a little more Richaun Holmes at that backup 5 spot. He ended up coming into this game and playing 3 minutes. So he's starting to get a little time the last couple of games, the last 3 games of the road trip. So maybe that's something to watch going forward. So yeah, that portion of the bench wasn't great. The starters were really good tonight, and they really got engaged coming out the half. I thought the Kings defense in that third quarter was amazing. And that's what they needed to do against this Pistons team that's not very good. They're not a great offensive team. So you can't allow them to score another 63 points in the second half. They came out of the gates ready. Keegan was aggressive. He hit that 3. Then he had another play where he hits a 3, first play of the second half, and he came down and took a charge.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And then the next play, he comes in with an aggressive drive on Ivy. Ivy picks up his 4th foul. and then he hit another three. It just felt like, oh, he came out firing, and the Kings defense was playing at a high level.
And you talk about Keegan Murray and the way that he even went at Ivy. It was so much more physical. It was so much more aggressive. And it wasn't only in that offensive moment that happened for Keegan Murray. Just like you said, the Kings defense came out so much more physical, so much more intense and up into guys and realizing, oh, this is actually going to help our offense on such another level. And it did. They ended up with 18 fast break points in this one. And I think for them too, it just helped them not turn over the ball, play a little bit more decisive, play their quick, fast-paced style of basketball. It just kept everyone in the same flow, in the same rhythm, and everyone's energy too was just at another level. It wasn't flat like that first half.
Yeah, I thought Keegan was really good today. And there's just, there's little things in a game you watch him where you just want him to be a little more aggressive. You mentioned that take on the smaller Jay and Ivy. That was great. He also had a take on Duran where I know Duran's long and he's athletic, but I feel like on some of these drives, he needs to go into guys a little more. I think so many times he tries to go up with a soft little floater or whatever you want to call it, and it's like they're going to get a piece of that, and that happened to him tonight.
Deuce, but that's exactly what I was saying. And that's why in that third quarter, when he had that moment, he's like, I'm going to go through this body. I'm going to play through this body. I'm not going to look for the foul. I'm also not going to look for the finger roll. I'm going to effing get to the rack. That's what he needs to do more and more of. We have to remind ourselves he's a rookie but that part of his game needs to come more consistently, because that is where he will become a really good player.
Yeah. And tonight he gives you 20 points, which was huge on 7 of 13. He hit 4 of 6 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line for him. And he ended up playing 35 minutes. So he's starting to play more. He's starting to play better, more consistent. You're seeing the growth after, that 3-week plus stretch where he was in a major funk. So that was super awesome to see Keegan Murray do that. I know you guys talked to him after the game too. I thought it was an interesting clip. I know Morgan's not going to be able to hear this, but I'll play it on our end. Keegan was asked about the chemistry of this team and how it's really helped him.
About 30 games in now. Ups and downs of the season happen. Obviously, you're a rookie and you're starting to learn that. Are you having fun?
Yeah. I mean, the locker room's just great energy. Being on the road, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, to be honest. I feel like just these guys and this team chemistry is something that can't be beat.
Yeah, you talk about the chemistry. How has that helped you through adversity, especially on this road trip?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone through ups and downs. I mean, everyone knows that. So just the guys in the locker room, I know that I can rely on. They're the only people that I have to talk to keep me motivated, keep my head high. So props to them. And I know that they'll be by my side throughout the rest of the year.
And I know, Morgan, on that last question, you were speaking more to the team's adversity, and he took it as like the adversity that he's faced. But the big picture is he's like, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, which was kind of cool to hear.
And I saw his dad tweet that out the other day, I think after that last win the other evening. And it was the same thing, just like how much they love being in Sacramento, how much they're so glad to be a part of this organization. And it's great. It doesn't feel like that forced, like, hey, we're just really happy to be here kind of thing. It's a genuine, like, it feels good and I want to be here. I like what's going on here. You can feel that vibe from everyone right now.
Yeah, it's been really good to see. It's good to see him playing well right now, and that was a huge sign tonight that the Kings he's heading in the right direction. The Kings are playing some good basketball, 16-12. Next guys we got to talk about, Morgan. What more can we say about these two the last couple of games? For Sabonis, it's putting it together, but Sabonis and Fox, great tonight. Sabonis, 23 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Those 23 points came on 9 of 11 shooting. He was 5 of 7 from the free throw line. It's his 4th straight 20-10-5 game. The last Kings player to do that was Chris Webber in 2005.
Dude, it's on another level, just shy of another triple-double with his 7 assists. And the way that he's doing everything, not only on his stat line, it's obviously incredible. We talked a little bit about how on NBA.com, They had a piece about their top 10 MVP candidates right now, just in the discussion. They had Domas Sabonis in their honorable mention, which I thought was really cool that he was even in that mention, because I think when we talk all-star, yeah, you put him in the conversation, not only with what he's doing with his numbers.
Stop.
What?
He's not in the conversation. Sabonis is an all-star.
He is.
No, he is. I mean, his numbers are outrageous.
No, that's totally fair. And so not only are his numbers outrageous, you look at what he does on the floor, you just watch him and you're like, wow, you command so much on the offensive end, but then on the defensive end as an anchor, you are just talking it up, being a leader, telling your guys where to be, contesting shots, moving your hips, moving laterally. It's just fantastic all around from the big guy.
His last 7 games are pretty outrageous too, Morgan. I keep saying that, outrageous. But 23, 13, and 7, 21, 20, and 7. He had 22, 10, and 5, 20, 12, and 4, 18, 18, and 6, 23, 12, and 7, and then 11, 17, and 10. I mean, it's really cool to see, because I know the guy had a resume as a 2-time All-Star before he got here. He's been an All-Star in this league. So in some ways, we shouldn't be surprised by how he is playing. But I think this role suits him so well in Sacramento. You got to remember, when he was in Indiana, he's playing the 4. And I think with him playing the 4, although he put up some great numbers in Indiana, did some nice things even with him there, I think he wasn't in the right position because he has to deal with defending 4s, right? And that would put him in a lot of tough situations. In Sacramento, he's playing the 5. They're running the offense through him. He makes everybody better. And then I know we've hit on this a lot over the last couple of weeks, but he's been really good defensively as well. And it's not a guy that you're going to be like, oh, he's an all-NBA or all-NBA defensive team guy, but he's a good team defender, and he has done a really nice job. I think he's done better than really anyone would think he would do, especially on defense.
I think that's what it is. And even tonight, you see 1 block, 2 steals with his stats. And even when it's he's not putting those numbers up, you just see with his verticality, with his communicating, so many other things that he adds on the defensive end. And then his rebounding, obviously his defensive rebounding, and how that affects what other teams are trying to accomplish, especially when they're really good teams at second chance opportunities or with their offensive boards. And I just love that we can talk about him dominating so many different categories. He's truly taking such a leap in his game on the defensive end, which I think has only elevated his game on the offensive end.
I see Kenneth in the chat saying too many minutes, Sabonis will wear down. You know, I would say the last couple of games, yeah, if you think Sabonis is going to be playing 40 minutes a night and that's going to work, no. But on the season, he's playing just under 33 minutes, which is the lowest amount of minutes he has played since his 3rd year in the league. You know, in Indiana, he is playing 35, 36, 35 minutes a night. So he's playing a couple less minutes. But I think the larger point Kenneth is right on. Like, they do need to get him some help at that backup 5. He does take a beating down there.
Yeah. And not only does he take a beating, my biggest fear is like, okay, if he's not in there,
yeah,
the dynamic changes completely. Now, it's not like years past where there's no depth and there's no identity, so they just lose at all costs. No, but you see how important he is as a big for this squad, in that as soon as he's not in, it just goes a little bit downhill for their bigs, especially in certain matchups. And when I say downhill, I'm not acting like the guys coming off the bench don't do a good job at times. Like, we've seen Metu put together some good games. It's more just depending on who the matchup is, what the game is. So obviously when we saw like Neemias Queta the other night, it was great to see him get those few minutes. He got too many fouls far too quick. And you just hope and wish that he could be one of those guys that you can develop to be that big body, that girth to give you in that paint. But either way, they need to figure that out soon.
We should also talk about De'Aaron Fox because second game in a row where he's looked great again. Fox in this game finishes with 24 points. He had 9 assists. He had 5 rebounds. He did it on 9 of 19 shooting. The only bad thing tonight for him, 0 of 5 from 3. But what do you think of De'Aaron's game?
Overall, I loved how he picked it up when the team needed him to pick it up. And that was obviously, especially in that second half, getting the paint touches. When he was going downhill, there was times he was just unstoppable. But then on the defensive end, he was showing Ivy like, you're not going to do the same shit I'm doing, right?
Rough night for Ivy, who fouled out. He played 20 minutes today, 2 of 9 shooting, 5 points, and he fouled out.
Which is surprising too, because he's had put together some good games, some really good moments. And there was like a moment tonight where he just like got to the rack and kind of it was when the Kings were trading off threes and just points in the paint. And there it is like De'Aaron had this nice crafty take to the rim, and then Ivy had it on the other side. But what I like for the most part is that De'Aaron was playing fantastic defense as well. And then you saw that being picked up to another level in that second half to really create so much more. Oh my God. And then really quick, because I'm about to talk about De'Aaron Fox's throwdown in that game, but Domas had 2 angry dunks as well. But De'Aaron Fox threw it down with authority. It was nasty as shit. And I was like feeling it from this entire team every time they were chucking it down.
I'm glad you brought it up. You want to hear how the G-Man called it? The legend, the GOAT, the G-Man Gary Gerald?
It's Harrison Barnes driving to the right, underneath the basket. Kicks. Here comes Fox on the run. A hammer with the left hand, and that may be the play of the year as far as De'Aaron Fox is concerned. Oh, my. What a rip by De'Aaron with a left-hand power jam. He had a full head of steam coming from well outside the three-point area, and that makes it 118 to 107. Fox now has 24 points. That was just sensational.
Deuce? You want to know what made that so beautiful too? Not just the finish and the throwdown. It was his movement without the effing basketball. He saw Harrison was driving baseline. He's like, where can I move next? Oh, wide open lane down the middle. Barnes finds him. Beautiful.
It was great. And, we haven't seen Fox dunk as much as he did in his early days in the NBA. We see a little more this year, and that was with some authority tonight. Yeah. He had some great the last couple of games. Some of those Euro step scores. I'm like, stop it, man. Step backs, mid range.
I looked at Matt Barnes and I was like, hey, could you ever slow down your body like that and control your body like that? Just wondering if like that was ever something he could do back in college or anything. And he said no, just like a quick no, because it's such a talent to have. And it's incredible when you have that ability, when you're that fast of a human being and can still have that body control. It's a challenge that so many cannot execute. And it's just, I love that De'Aaron has found a way to do that at such a high level.
Do you feel like he looks like himself again after sitting out? Do you feel like you didn't notice him laboring or anything? I didn't. I feel like the last couple of games, and it's hard because sometimes, guys miss shots and you're like, are they hurt or is there something going on? Some guys just miss shots. And I felt like that was the case in the Philly game.
Yeah.
The last couple of games, I think he's kind of looked like the guy we saw earlier in the season.
I feel like if anything, he looks like that with a little bit more of a banged up body. And that's what it should be at this point, right? Like you are taking a toll on your body if you're playing basketball pretty much the right way. And by saying that, I think some people are going to argue back with me and be like, no, if you're playing basketball the right way, you should learn how to fall, learn how to go up into guys so you're not getting hurt. I totally understand that. But there's going to be times when you are playing at such a physical level that there's going to be no way that you don't take a toll on your body.
Starters played heavy minutes tonight, except for Herter, who in his first game back after sitting out with a sore ankle, gave the Kings 13 points, 4 assists. He was 5 of 9 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3 in 29 minutes. But, everyone else, like Fox played 39 minutes tonight. Sabonis played heavy minutes, just under 41 minutes. Keegan played 35. Barnes played 36. we got to talk about HB because he was nice tonight.
So hard to tell. Here's a steal by Barnes. Knocked it away from Bogdanovich. He drives. He slows. Goes reverse and scores. Left to right. Great play defensively by Harrison Barnes, who now has 15. And that 16th turnover by Detroit has now resulted in 14 Sacramento points. Wayne Casey has called timeout.
HB, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 dimes, 5 of 9 shooting, 3 of 4 from downtown. He's been really good. He's starting to really put some games together. And every time he plays well, it seems like the Kings win.
I couldn't wait until we started talking about him because you're right. It's not only when he's playing well, but I feel like we talk about how strong Sabonis is. Harrison Barnes looks stronger and stronger to me. The way that he's especially playing that power forward position when they needed him to battle down low with guys from Detroit when Keegan was having, some troubles with just like his body size and everything. HB makes guys think twice when he's playing defense. And then on the offensive end, his ability to not only stretch the floor. Holy shit. He looks so strong.
We just put a picture up tonight of a shirtless Harrison Barnes that caught Morgan's attention because for the second consecutive game, he got the DPOG, Defensive Player of the Game.
And I'm so glad you're showing that because that's exactly what we were talking about just now. Obviously, the way that he was just in the paint against Stewart, against Duran, it was like he is just a muscly, strong human being. Oh my God, I love this team photo as well in the locker room. But you look at the way that he rebounds too. It's not just his strength, it's his timing. It's his understanding of where the ball is going to land and where he needs to be in position. Another fantastic job from HB.
It's why I said before the season, this whole notion that you have to trade Harrison Barnes is ridiculous. I felt like that going into the season, he was going to play such a better role that was probably going to lead to him being more productive. Think about how much was on his shoulders the last few years, right? They were relying on him a ton. They don't rely on him anymore. It's Sabonis and Fox. You got Herter, you got Murray, you got Monk, you got TD. You have some more help. So it's not like, hey, HB, you got to get us 20. He can get you 20. He can hit the boards. He can get you a timely bucket, but you're not relying on it. Here's a great example. This time last year, Morgan, through 28 games, the Kings were 11-17. They lost to the Raptors that night, 124-101. The starting lineup that night was Fox, Halliburton, Barnes, Chimeze Metu, and Alex Len.
It's just different.
It's changed. It's changed different. A little bit.
That's a second those are so many second unit guys, and that's no knock on them. It's just where you're at in the NBA and what type of talent and leadership you need on a team to be a good team in the NBA is different.
So now he's in a role where he's not relied on. He can focus more on what he does well. And that's why I think he's starting to play better. He got off to a really slow start. And I was a little concerned after the preseason in the first few games. It was like, man, he's missing free throws. It looks a little slow out there. He's really adjusted well to Brown's system. I think he's been really good. And the thing I've always said is if you're going to trade this guy, how are you going to get better? He's an expiring deal. Are you going to trade Harrison Barnes and get better?
Yeah. No, and I
don't think so.
I think too many people, and I mean, everyone's done it. They get frustrated when he has a few games that are bad. And then if the whole team is playing bad and then wins aren't happening, there's always someone to blame. Think about when the Kings are winning and Kevin Huerter's playing well, but Harrison Barnes doesn't have the best game. We're not talking about Harrison Barnes not having the best game, and I just think there's been so much of that over the years on him because of the way when he came to Sacramento, it was like, all right, you're going to be the guy. But then you look at his role, especially with Golden State, it was like, he didn't have to be the guy. I know that's such a different example, I'm not saying that is what is here in Sacramento, but it still allows him to be in a different role. And now he's older, more mature in a different spot in his career where he knows where he needs to contribute, how he needs to contribute, but everyone else or some other guys can be the guy.
We got to give some love to the people watching us live. Shout out. It's a Friday night. You could be doing anything else, but you're hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Make sure if you're here, if you're in the YouTube chat, just click that thumbs up button. It helps our channel grow. Also, if you have not subscribed to our channel, it doesn't cost you anything. Hit the subscribe button. It helps our channel grow. Comment, like, all that stuff. All it does is make sure that our stuff gets seen by more and more people. And last year, we hit an all-time high, over 1.1 million views on YouTube because of you guys, and that's because you guys are liking and sharing and all that stuff, so we appreciate it. We can't take Discord calls tonight, but we can be in Twitter Spaces, so make sure if you do want to chat with us, request to talk. Poll question tonight for the YouTube chat, Morgan. The Kings are off to their best start since 2004-05. Is this a good team? The options are, oh, hell yes. And I think so, but let's see the homestand. Or nah, still not buying it. Kings. Where do you weigh in? Oh, hell yes, or I think so, but let's see the homestand.
I was already at oh, hell yes, like 15 games in. And I said it. And I think a lot of people were a little worried about Yeah. Thank you. It wasn't about, again, completely the win-loss column, even when I started saying this was a good team, but I think their wins were starting to prove even more how they were a good team because they were beating a good team like the Cavs, or they were getting a good win, and they strung enough of those together where I think we can absolutely identify this team as a good team. I do have a stat for you too.
Oh, give me a stat, Morgan.
So this is from my guy, Nick Avila, who sent it to me during the postgame show. And he said, last year, the Kings had 8 games with 30-plus assists. We are now 28 games into the season. The Kings have 8 games of 30-plus assists.
So they've matched last season's total?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. And obviously, you have to make shots for that to happen, but it's the ball movement and the unselfishness with this team. I mean, we talk about Sabonis tonight, had 7. Fox had 9. Malik Monk off the bench gave you 6 assists, and he did it in 25 minutes. He also had 11 points, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 3 of 8 shooting.
Deuce, you saw some passes tonight where it was just across the court. They were slinging it.
Barnes had that one on the turnover where it was like a opposite 3-point line to Herter for the score. You even had the one where Fox did the no look. It made it seemed like he was going to go to Keegan. He dropped off to Sabonis, who was about to rip that, and then Duran came in and fouled him. But yeah, dude, the passing's great.
Yeah, it's not only is it fun and beautiful right now, but everyone's doing it. And what it does help is some of these shots fall because everyone's just in their rhythm, right? Like it's just slinging it around. Okay, I'm in shooting motion. Boom, I'm going to go. This feels good. That type of energy, you can feel that through the basketball. I know that sounds kind of weird and fake, but no, it's true. When it's slinging like that, just things change on the basketball court.
Rob in the chat says, my keys were to defend, rebound, and run. That third period, they did just that. Exactly right. They came out engaged. And, you know, I would say, too, I would like to see them come out of the gates a little stronger. You know, we've had a few games in a row where they come out so slow. The Toronto game, kind of a slow start, right? Some miscues, defensive breakdowns. Tonight, a little sloppy, defensive breakdowns. You got to be consistent, a little more consistent, because it could bite you in the ass in the long run. I mean, I was joking in our Discord at halftime. I'm like, if I'm Mike Brown, you know what I did to that official last game? That's what I'm doing to my team at half. Like, let's finish this. We're so close. Like, if we just play our game, we win this game by 15. That's why I kept saying they play their game, they win by 15. They end up winning by 9, but you know, they're a better team than the Pistons, and they were killing themselves in that first half. So it was a great response. It was a really great response. In fact, that's something that Mike Brown noticed after the game. Mike Brown really liked what he saw from his team in that third quarter.
This is Domus's team. Both those guys are all-stars, and they're both stepping up huge in a lot of different ways, even in ways that people don't see, you know, and that's the neat part about it, just being around them and just watching them grow right in front of you in a lot of different ways. fantastic second half. We came out, and I think we had 7, 8 stops in a row. Went on a big run. It was dictated by our defense. But the thing that I also like about it is, we've been out a long time, played a lot of games. This is the last game on the trip, and we could have easily just turned it into a slugfest, especially the way we were getting stops and trying to rely on getting stops. But our guys got out after those stops, and I think we had 2 fast break points in the first half. We ended with 18 or 20, and to me, bringing that type of juice in the second half was, it was beautiful to see. It was beautiful to see their determination to get stops, but not only get stops, finish the play by getting out and sharing the ball at the other end before their defense got set. So fantastic basketball game for us, especially with this being the last one on the road.
Wow, pretty high praise from Mike Brown. Really satisfied with what his team did in the second half, especially in that third quarter, and I love that stat. He said 2 fast break points in the first half, 16 in the second half, going back to Rob's point. Rebound, run, defend, let's go!
Rebound, run, defend. And, I mean, really, you look at defend, and it was the way that they're getting up with guys, disrupting, making their shots a little harder, boxing out. I thought the Pistons did a good job of putting a body on Sabonis early on, and that kind of worried me because we saw what Duren did that first game against the Sacramento Kings and what he did against Charlotte the other night. I think you sent me a stat that he had like 19 rebounds against them. So he's been a beast. He's young. You look at his shoulders, like he's a guy that.
How is he the youngest player in the league? You know that kid that SportsCenter put up where it was the kid that is 12 years old and he looks like he's, 24 and he's ripped? That's Jalen Duren.
Yes.
There's no way he's 18, 19 years old. That guy's 27. How are you built like that?
I don't know.
That's
man.
a man.
Yeah. No, it's a man. And he at times can show himself in there and does a really good job. But tonight I'm really glad that the Kings ended up doing a much better job in the rebounding category. They still were out rebounded though.
Dude,
46-33.
It was not good tonight. That's the one area. And at the half, I think it was, it was 10 at the half. It was 25-15. But yeah, I mean, that was a concern. And we've seen good moments from them. But yeah, tonight was not a great example of that. And, Duren's a really good rebounder. This was Isaiah Stewart wasn't playing in that last game against the Sacramento Kings. So he can rebound. Duren had 14 tonight.
Dude,
including 6 offensive rebounds.
Oh, how worried were you at first when Stewart started stretching the floor and making some threes? Like,
you know what? Honestly, I wasn't. The way they started, I'm like, okay, Jaden Ivey hit his first 3 of the game. I'm like, he has 4 of 4 in the first game against Sacramento. He hasn't missed a 3. He shoots 29% on the season. Does he only make them against Sacramento? Like, what the hell's going on? And I know Isaiah Stewart's honestly worked on that part of his game, but I'm like, all right, you cannot get beat tonight by Jaden Ivey hitting threes and Isaiah Stewart hitting threes. Go play your game. Go play your game. And they did.
Yeah, no, they did a much better job of playing their game. And it felt really good, Deuce. That was just one of those feel good ones. And you showed some of the images from the locker room after, and we were talking about it. I had someone hit me up. My source tell me that they're going to leave up the beam for the Sacramento Kings flying into town tonight.
Late. So the beam's staying lit past midnight tonight?
My source is your friend, but yes. So it will be, I'll text you, but
that's so lame. You can't say it. What are you, is this like, are you going to die if you tell us, oh my God, who told you the beam got lit?
I don't even think it's a big deal. Yeah, I don't even think it's a big deal, but it's funny. I didn't even say it on air because I'm like, oh, does he not want me to say it? Should I not say it? I'm like, I don't think it matters. It's not like we're dealing with
no, it shouldn't matter.
Legal things. We're dealing with a light beam on the top of
who told you, coward?
Fresh.
Oh, Scott Freshour.
Yeah.
Scott Freshour was texting me tonight.
Oh.
You know what he told me?
What did he tell? Do I want to know? What did he tell you?
He said, Morgan Reagan is going to be on network TV in 2 years. Screenshot this.
No, he did not.
And I was like, are you sure of that? Because you don't want it. I don't think you'd want to. That's why I said that. Not because you don't have the talent.
No, that's really such a sweet compliment. And like, I still have so much room to grow and like get better, but I don't want to either. I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be in Sacramento.
Well, yeah, we're not leaving Sac anytime soon.
No. Hell no.
Morgan, I did want to get some comments from the YouTube people because people are here hanging out with us. It's awesome. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button. I asked, what was your favorite moment from the road trip? I want you to think of yours while I read some, including someone saying, favorite moment? The debut of the DPOG chain, Defensive Player of the Game chain. That's actually a really good one.
Really good one.
Someone saying the comeback win. That was Bad News Sour Grape saying comeback win over the Raptors. AVP says De'Aaron's bloody Euro bucket where the blood's dripping. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin against Bret Hart. Oh my God, he's bleeding everywhere. That was a bad Jim Ross. Big John says Keegan getting his groove back like Stella in 98.
Okay.
That's crickets. That's crickets for that last part of it. Yeah. You have one?
Well, I feel like all of those moments are really good moments. I would say I was trying to think like something that happened in that Cavs game that maybe.
I don't know, the 19-0 run in the game that everyone's mentioning. Yeah. I think that's the moment. The 19-0 run, right?
Yeah.
Was that the debut of the Defensive Player of the Game one too?
I think so. I think
Sabonis
so.
got it? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that win. I was like, why was that win so
10
important?
straight stops. They got 10 consecutive stops.
Dude, it was that stretch,
Yeah.
that moment. Because obviously it finished with the win, which that's gonna put a little bow on it. But it was that for me because that showed how this team can rally. What?
Someone mentioning this one. There's a lot of great moments. We got Defensive Player of the Game. We got Fox's bloody face. What else do we? A 19-0 run. Mike Brown's ejection.
Oh, hell yes.
And then like that post-game celebration was pretty cool too last game. I don't know, man. That's tough.
It's they're those what a fun effing road trip. Oh my God. I feel like I was there. I feel like I'm just on the plane with them right now celebrating.
Spectre says that bad Jim Ross was a spot on Mr. Garrison from South Park. I'll work on my Jim Ross for you. Delivery Joe says my favorite continuous moment is hearing G-Man not sound disappointed every damn night. All hail the G-Man. Speaking of the G-Man, after the game, he had a chance to catch up with Domantas Sabonis. You want to hear that, Morgan?
Yes.
Anything jump out there?
Yeah, I missed my last free throw. How to make it.
Listen, tell me about what transpired. You're down 8 at halftime, and it was kind of a first half for Sacramento. But what a different story in the third quarter.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough one. You know, it's a tough place to come in. You know, Detroit's a young, talented team that plays really hard. And we just had to come out and be better. You know, that first half, I feel like we were winded. Last game of a long road trip for 14 days on the road, you know, so we had to finish off with a win and make it a good road trip.
How hard is it when you come to the sixth game on a long trip to have the focus and to have the determination and to execute cleanly?
It's big. It's big. I'm proud of the team. You know, we came in and we knew this one was going to be hard before the road trip even started. So to come out and be together and get this win is big.
To be at this point of the season, 4 games over 500 now, and 3-3 on this trip, how satisfying is that, Domantas?
It's great. It's great, you know, but we have a lot of work to do, you know. It's only the beginning of the season. There's so much left, you know, so we just got to keep building as a team and winning games.
If I had a button here, I would let you light the beam, but I don't have that button. But it's going to be lit when we go flying home tonight.
Yep.
That sounds good, huh?
Yes.
All right, listen, we appreciate a few moments of your time, and we'll enjoy that flight as you continue to study the box scores, and don't fret too much about that missed free throw.
It's a long flight home. It's going to be on my mind now.
All right. Thanks, Domantas.
All right. Thank you, bye.
Sabonis was stressed about that missed free throw, huh?
I love that, but also G-Man's literally a national treasure. I adore that human. He's fantastic. Like someone said, with his energy in every single game, it doesn't matter if they have the shittiest season in the world or are playing like they are now. He keeps that same energy. He's just fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Sabonis, man. It's been fun.
Yeah.
People forget He's like 25, 26 years old.
Yeah.
He's better than he's ever been. He's an all-star in Indiana. He's more efficient than ever. He's better defensively. And he is on track to be the Kings' first all-star since DeMarcus Cousins. He's playing that well. And if Fox can put a big stretch together here, he's going to be in the convo.
Yeah. And poor De'Aaron in so many ways, where you have to go up against just an insane Western Conference of guards. And, it's going to be tough. But at the same time, like, I love that we could argue it in so many different ways if he keeps putting together a big stretch of good basketball.
I want to shout a couple of things, including Rob, who gifted some subs, and Jalen, thanks for the reminder. He donated $2 saying, light the beam, Young Zell. It's a slap. Yeah, our guy Denzel Joyce, he put this out on social media. I forgot to play it the other night, and I told him, like, dude, I got to play this. And for those who have not heard it, he did a song, a Light the Beam song. I'll play a portion of it. I want you guys to go download it. It's on Apple Podcasts. Go get it on iTunes today. Here's a portion of that.
Yeah. They do not know what Sacktown brings. When on the low, that's a Sacktown thing. Talking about us, it's a bounce out thing. Must they forgot we some Sacramento Kings. Whole squad going crazy, yeah, we back with it. Northern Cali going crazy, one sack winning. If you doubted us, then ain't no backspinning. This is real right here, ain't no catfishing. So tell me what you see now. Coming down the lane off the rebound. It's 9-16 now. Look towards the sky like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now. Tell them like the beam, like the beam now. You can tell them like the beam now.
Okay. Young Zell. Check it out. Download that.
I love
talented people in Sacramento.
It's a great vibe.
Yeah.
Great vibe. Well done.
Good stuff,
Well
man.
done. So many creative people in Sacramento,
Yeah.
by the way, like very talented.
Let's give some love to the Twitch people, including Peg Junk, who subscribed. And what's up, Let Me Out Productions? Appreciate everyone being here on Night Chat tonight. I did want to get to a couple of more things from this game. One thing, big takeaways from this road trip at 3-3. I was listening to Sacktown Sports. Kevin Herter had some interesting things to say about the chemistry with this team. And I'm telling you, this is why I'm not trying to like overhype this team at all. But there's reasons why I think they're good. And it's not only because they're 16-12. It's not because they play a fun style of basketball. It is the little things. It's the vibes. Like, I'm sorry, when I look in the locker room, see guys celebrating like they did in Toronto the other night, supporting each other. Guys who aren't in the rotation supporting each other. Smiles all the way around, chanting Light the Beam. I feel like that stuff matters. Kevin Herter was talking about the chemistry today.
For me, it's been the biggest eye-opener about coming here is how much I've liked the culture and the organization as a whole, and just the vibe around the practice facility every day, around the hotel, after games, us just getting dinner with each other. Culture Summit, obviously it starts from the top. It starts with our front office, and Mike has done a great job just having that accountability with all of us as players. We can respect him when he's getting on us, and we can trust that he's right. But it comes from the players that are on our team too. I think Domas, his style of play and his unselfishness. Harrison, just his steadiness, game in and game out. He's very steady. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. Fox just brings like a maturity to the game and being able to close out the game for us. And Fox is very steady, doesn't get too emotional unless he's getting mad, but he's a competitive guy. But for me, with those three guys and the culture that they've helped establish and everybody else just buying into it, that going along with Mike, it's been great so far. And there's a professionalism to what we're trying to do. And, that started for me with Mike and the accountability that he has all of us, living up to every day.
Morgan, your reaction to what you just heard.
I mean, I love the way that they talk about the culture, the accountability that's there, because you've mentioned it so many times. Like, hey, it's like being a good parent. You show your love, but you also got the only way to help a human grow is to teach them things, is to be tough on them at times. And by also equally sharing love and respect and trust. And Mike Brown does that with not only every single person on his team, it seems like, because even guys that aren't playing never seem to be throwing a fit, never seem to be upset, but it seems like with the coaching staff and with everyone else in basketball ops, everyone feels like they're just in tune with this same culture. And it's just, that's how you win games, sure, but that's also how you deal with bad times and adversity when those times come.
That's it. That's exactly it, Morgan, is those bad times will come.
Yes.
And that's the whole test. And we said this on night chats when they were 0-4. It's like, okay, those good vibes from camp and everything, all that talk it's being tested now. How are you going to respond? And they responded in a really good way. I mean, 0-4 start, Morgan. That means I'm trying to do the quick math. They're 16-8 since a 0-4 start. That's not a small sample anymore, right? Like, they have flaws. There's still issues defensively, backup big, okay, some wing stuff. But I think Monty will try to address some of this stuff by the deadline, and also be careful because they have something that's really special here right now with this group that's growing together. And I think there has to be some understanding and belief that, hey, Keegan can maybe be better in February than he is in December. Keegan may be able to be more impactful in April than he was in December, right? So internal growth, what else can they tinker with? What else develops? Rotations can change. We've seen guys in and out of the rotation. Trey Lyles had been kind of part of the Kings rotation. Now he's kind of out of it at this point. But are you going to be shocked if he's back in it? No. So you just have to be ready for anything, look for ways to improve the roster. And I think the Kings are going to have a chance to have a playoff game this year. And that's pretty cool to say. So the large point is, I know some fans are scared to buy in. Buy into that this team is fun and good right now. You don't need to go crazy and go, oh, we're going to the second round. Conference finals if it shakes out right. Enjoy the ride. I'm going to keep saying this all year long. Enjoy the ride, because there's nothing like the come up. There is nothing like the rise to being good. And you feel it not only with the players in the locker room and the coaching staff and those vibes, but the city. I'm walking the dogs the other day. Someone, I don't even know, out the window goes, light the beam! People are saying light the beam all over the place. They're feeling this team, and it's brought people together in this town. It's not only because they're winning games, it's because they're fun to watch. They're likable. And for the first time in 16 years, Sacramento has a legitimately cool team to root for.
Well, it's not only that, Deuce. You talk about lighting the beam, and I just want to show a few things
What you got?
I was like, I do a Deuce and Mo podcast, try and do like a Christmas card or something, And so this year's Deuce and Mo podcast Christmas card for NBC people was Murray Christmas.
I love it.
Isn't that great?
I love it.
This is Henry from Taiwan. He's one of the biggest Kings fan. But this I also handed out because I was like, no, this is everywhere right now. It's Light the Beam. It's De'Aaron with Light the Beam beams coming out of his
eyes. That's sick. He made that?
Dude, yeah. No, he's so freaking talented. But my point to this even is, like, you talk about lighting the beam. Like, it's a thing, a real thing. And I pass this around to people around the office that aren't even Kings fans because they enjoy saying light the beam.
Can we just rewind for a quick second? It's not a big deal. I'm not trying to fight with you right now. I'm not trying to fight with you.
What?
I went on this kind of like cool like promo, kind of like, oh man, rally around what Deuce is saying, and you kind of sold it. You went right into it's not only that.
That was me. So
sold it. I gave you the super kick. I pinned you, and you kicked out on not even a 1 count. I was like, huh.
Christmas. I just showed off.
I know. You could.
I was literally going to your point that there's Christmas King's Christmas cards.
Sold it. Sold it, and I'm not fighting with you. But sold it. Oh, okay. You turn around. You turn around. I hope the lights go off on you again tonight.
I'm back.
Hey, Morgan, we have not talked to this person in 2 games, mainly because when you're in San Francisco, the way we have our tech set up, I am working on some things to make this better, but we can't take Discord calls with how it's routed. We are trying to do some things maybe in 2023 that will allow us to have people join us on video and do different things. So we're on Twitter Spaces tonight, and I know sometimes people have a tough time hearing Morgan, but we're going to go to Twitter Spaces and check in with our old friend, Nick. What is up, Nick? Unmute yourself. Nick knows how to use Discord, but Twitter Spaces too much. Where are you? Nick.
Wait, is it why not, Nick?
Yes.
Why not like make your Twitter Spaces work?
Yeah, you have to request to talk again. All right. We'll check in with Dreadhead. Dreadhead, welcome in to Night Chat with Deuce and Mo. What is up? Dread. Are we having issues tonight? I'm 0 for 2. I'm 0 for 2. Dread, are you there? Man, Nick requested one more time, so I'm going to try him again.
One more time.
Nick, the people need you so bad right now.
What's up, Deuce and Mo?
Yes! What's up, Deuce and Mo? What's up, Nick?
Hey, like the beat. 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 Hey, Morgan, how about why not like the beat? Why not like the beat?
Like the beat. Why not?
Why not like the beat? Like the beat. Like the beat. The Kings win. Like the beat. I want the music back on tonight for Morgan so I can hear it for her.
Nick, what do you think tonight?
I feel like it's good. Feel like we got the win. And we come back home. I will be at the game on December 19th against the Charlotte Hornets.
And what are you going to do against the Hornets, Nick? What are the Kings going to do?
Beat them. We're going to beat the Hornets. And guess what? I'll get you guys ready for the game. Because you know what? I'm going to do on Facebook. I'm going to do Facebook Live on Sunday. Get you guys ready for the game on Monday. Game.
You're going to do a Facebook Live on to promote the game?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah. Nick doing his own show now.
We're going to get you guys ready for the game on Sunday. And join me at the Government Center on Monday as the Kings take on the Hornets at 7 o'clock. And join Morgan at pregame and postgame live.
No, Nick. We're going to update our schedule in just a second. But real fast, Nick, why not beat the Hornets on Monday?
Why not beat the Hornets? Why not?
All right, Nick. Sleep dreams, okay?
Sleep dreams, Deuce and Mo.
Bye. There's Nick checking in. You could hear him okay?
Yeah, I could hear him perfectly.
Okay, good. That's great. Nick was mentioning the games next week. Very exciting, yet, we're going to have to juggle some things around a little bit. So we mentioned this on the night chat the other night after the Kings lost, but we got a call from the NBA, and next week, actually Sunday, we are flying to Las Vegas because that's where the NBA G League Showcase is. We are both working it for the NBA, which is great. I am getting the chance to do sidelines for a couple of games on Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I'm doing sidelines for a game. I'm looking at the schedule right now, and I'm doing play-by-play for a couple of G League Showcase games, including, one with our guy Kevin Dana. That's awesome.
So cool. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for us. This is so freaking cool.
And Morgan is doing some analyst work out there, and sources close to the situation saying, no. Morgan Reagan doing some sideline work for ESPN next week?
Why not?
Give me a hell yeah.
No, it's going to be a fun, but the reason we bring up all that, not only to brag, but also, no, it's just a really exciting opportunity for us to get that. I didn't get to go last year, and you want to peek behind the curtain for a second. So Morgan gets a call to work the G League Showcase last year, and we do G League games together, and I was super happy for her. But my competitive side was like, why am I not going? I'm good enough to be there. And this year I got the call. So it was a big deal for me to get that call and to have a chance to do sidelines and to do play-by-play for the G League Showcase in Vegas is awesome. Now, with that said, the Kings play on Monday and Wednesday. We are going to be on maybe a little later on those days. I'm looking at the schedule. Actually, Monday may not be as big of a problem.
Okay.
Monday night, we should have a regular night chat, but we're going to be doing it from Las Vegas. And then Wednesday night, I've got like the latest game. So we'll be on later after that Lakers game. But Monday and Wednesday, expect a little different schedule and a different look to night chat.
Yeah. Wednesday a little bit later, but it's all good because then our next games the next day, Deuce. I know you have a 2:00 game, but I have the 2 latest games.
Oh, you do?
That evening.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's all good. We're gonna do the night chats at some point, so we'll have fun doing them. Let's see if anything else jumped out to me in the chat. A lot of people giving us some love. I appreciate that big time. Appreciate that. Sato says, Deuce and Mo, one day you should do a tier list of Kings memes. You'd have to give us some candidates for sure. And appreciate all the love from people. Big time love. I'm super excited about what lies ahead coming up in Vegas. It's a good opportunity. So
your guys' support means the freaking world. So thanks.
Let's check in on Twitter Spaces with Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, what's up, guys? I was actually at the game in Detroit. I'm from Sacramento, but I moved recently to Michigan. And I go, my first Pistons game, I know I'm going to go watch the Kings play. And I represented the 916 all day.
Okay. Can you confirm something for me? I was listening to G-Man's call, and at one point, I did hear some Light the Beam chants.
That would be me.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Because I was 7 rows behind the Kings bench, and there was a couple behind me, boyfriend, girlfriend. They're from Ohio, but they're not. They live in Ohio, but they are from Bakersfield, and they were there, and they were like wearing their King stuff, throwback pieces, Reggie Theus jerseys, and they were like, we're talking old school stuff, and yeah. And I go, and there was a couple other fans, 2 across from me, a couple other ones, wearing their King stuff. And I looked at them and I told everybody, I'm going to start the chant.
I love it. I love that. And I love that you're able to see them actually win a game in Detroit and they're playing good basketball.
It was amazing because it was so funny because I saw G-Man in Harrison Barnes because like right in front of me was like where the little bike was where Harrison was on the just keeping his legs warm and stuff like that, and so we were shouting down to him and everybody at halftime, and it was just like, you know what, and they didn't say anything till we get to the end, and then like everybody around me, like all the Pistons fans were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, go check out Google. Go check out the Beam because it's a place of worship, according to Google. So go enjoy it.
What was the crowd out there tonight? Does it?
Let's there was probably maybe only like 5% Kings fans, if there.
No, but I mean, like, how was it? Was it full?
Was like, no, no.
Okay, I didn't think so. No, because on the box score it said 17,892. I was like, "There's no way." I didn't see that many people.
I think they put an extra digit in there because it was like 7,000.
Yeah, rebuilding team. They've been bad for a while. I get it, but no, dude, I'm glad. I'm glad you had a good time, man.
Oh, it was a great time. It was kind of cool because it's like, everybody in the elevator is all wearing their Piston swag, and I'm like the lone guy with my Kings hat on. I'm like, hello everyone.
Dude, I'm happy for you, man. Well, thanks for checking in.
Oh, thank you. You guys have yourself a good evening, and I'll keep on listening, all right?
Sounds good. Appreciate that. That's Andrew, who was at the game tonight. That's pretty cool. Morgan, I want to look ahead to this homestand. And Michael in the chat brought this up. They play 15 of the next 19 at home, or 11 of the next 13 at home. They played some good basketball on the home floor, and this is going to be a great chance for them kind of build on this and to really establish a home court during this stretch. And coming up next week, you get Monday, a Hornets team that had 3 wins when you played them. They have 7 now.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a bad team. The other night, Steve Clifford called them out after the game. They lost to the Pistons in overtime, gave up 140 plus points. He ripped his team's defense, and he said, all we care about is offense. They responded by losing by 19 and giving up 125 points to the Hawks tonight. They are 7-22 now. This is, and they've got LaMelo back. Gordon Hayward came back. The reality is this is a bad team.
And by the way, just remember last season how we were like, they were the NBA league pass team to watch. You know, it was fun. It was exciting. Like, look at the drop that quick with everything that just happens with coaching and injuries and everything. LaMelo Ball being back, I think he had 27 points tonight, and he can get his, but Clifford's right. Like, they don't do things as a team. They have so much dysfunction right now, and you don't want them to get things right against you, because then that's a really bad loss. You know, it's one of those games where how can you really take care of business? I wanted to see more of that with the Pistons tonight. Early on, the way that they came into the game, it was kind of frustrating, being like, man, this is one of those games you're supposed to pound them. And I think for the Hornets on your home floor, you got to have that type of game.
They're not losing to the Hornets.
It's not even about losing. I kind of want like a crushing win.
Yeah, I'm with you. Last time,
we're due for one of those. Like, you got it against the Nets. I think once in a while against these really bad teams, you need a crushing win.
Rue in the chat says, how many and ones did the Kings get? I mean, it must have been 6 tonight, because I think Monk had 3 by himself. Sabonis had a couple. Did Fox have one? They had a lot tonight. That was pretty crazy. Also, we mentioned the Hornets coming up on Monday. Then they get the Lakers on Wednesday. This Lakers team is obviously, they've got weapons.
Yep.
I don't buy them. They're not good, but they have dangerous players. AD, obviously, when he's right, it's looked great. He's been on a tear. He was really tired in that Celtics game, but he's been good. Westbrook has been a little improved with his individual numbers coming off the bench, but the team is still not as good with him on the court, and he's still not very efficient. And then LeBron James is still LeBron James. Like, we know what he's about. So not trying to dismiss that game on Wednesday night, but it's also a team with a losing record, and you're at home. So they've got the Hornets, the Lakers, and then Friday they welcome in the Wizards, who are struggling a bit. There's a chance here to take care of business, like win those 3 games.
I would love that. I think they're gonna have a tough time with the matchup against the Lakers.
Yeah, I agree. The size and AD has been, he was, last time they played him, he was really, really good. But at the same time, it seems like the Lakers always sit somebody.
Well, but also that's why I feel like when I look at this Hornets game, like that has to be your crushing game.
Okay.
That has to be like the dominance game. And then Lakers battle, like, get the W. But let's say, like, if you didn't, Lakers had this great game. We talk about the weapons that they have. You saw the fight that they put up against Boston the other night in overtime even. They can still do things. And I think when you look at Washington, that's a team where I go, get the W, but they still have their weapons as well. You don't know what type of night some of these guys are going to have sometimes, and it can be scary. But when you look at this 3-game stretch next week, I would say go 2-1.
You disgust me.
Why?
2-1? No, you win all 3.
I would love Deuce, but it's not about, like, yes, they're capable of winning all 3, but it's more like we're just in discussion. Like, it's hard to win 3 more straight after just winning 2 straight coming off of this road trip.
They're better.
Like, I love your expectations and your standards, and I want that all to happen, and I think they're capable, but I also think it's really hard to do that every night in the NBA. Let's not get greedy, bud.
They are 8-4 on the home floor. They had that last loss that snapped a winning streak, and that was to the Suns, 122-117. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you from the standpoint that I think 2-1 at minimum. Is that fair? Can we say that? Like 2-1 at minimum?
Get this. Someone put in our chat about Anthony Davis, and I thought they were kidding. Anthony Davis, right foot injury, will not return tonight.
You could be lying, but I believe it.
No, I see it on Bleacher Report now.
But there's, it is Friday and the game's not until Wednesday. So that's something to remember too. We need to look at the standings, Morgan. Let's go over look at the Western Conference standings. As of this moment right now, the Kings are sitting in the 5th spot at 16-12. Man, that's great to see. Memphis, number 1. Interesting for Memphis. They have won 7 in a row, and they have done it with Desmond Bane out for all this time. Jackson's missed some games. They destroyed the Bucks last night. Demolished the Bucks. So that was impressive. They've looked really good as of late. The Pelicans all of a sudden have dropped 2 in a row, both games to Utah. That game last night, Morgan, against Utah was really good. We were watching that.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. Man, just really quick about Memphis, because was Jaren Jackson Jr. playing
in that game against the Bucks?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember.
I'm just gonna look really quick because I was just curious. But
yeah, he was. Curious. He did. Yeah, he played 13 minutes.
Dude, his defense has been on another level, and that's why I was just like, okay, was he actually playing in that one? Yeah, it's just been on a different level for this squad, just his presence alone. And so, defensive player of the year status for him, and what a great little comeback for him. But for the Grizzlies, it's just, you have another guy that can protect your rim at a high level. I mean, I get why they're where they are right now.
So Memphis and New Orleans are kind of at the top at this point, right? 1 and 2, where you go, yeah, they're playing the right way. New Orleans too, although they've lost a couple in a row. I think we need to remember they've done this without Ingram. Like they've really played high level basketball, winning 7 of 10, and Brandon Ingram's not playing. And I know he's being reevaluated. He's going to miss another week. Alvarado didn't play in their last game, so they've faced some adversity too. The Nuggets are 17-10. They're playing the Lakers right now. The Suns snapped that long losing skid with the win yesterday, and then the Blazers are behind the Kings. They lost tonight to Dallas. They're 16-13. Utah sitting at 17-14 in the 7th spot. The Clippers at 17-14. I still don't know what to make of them until we see Kawhi play for a longer stretch. Dallas beat Portland tonight. They're 15-14. Minnesota, Gobert's out, Cat's out. They won tonight, but they're 14-15. And now the Warriors, the team on the outside looking in, they just lost Steph for 3 weeks. And they've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, they lost again tonight. So tough times over there in Warrior Land, which I'm totally good with. And I love seeing this little bit of a downfall right now for them. But it's really funny how with the Nuggets, they are 3rd in the West right now in the standings, and the conversation around, I just don't feel like people believe in them enough. And it's fair. Like I also believe like there's a conversation as to why people don't believe in them, but at the same time, like they still do this just quiet.
They're a team that I think can do some damage in the second half as Murray continues to get the reps. You know, Jamal Murray missed a long time. He's averaging 17 points a game right now, 44%, 35% from 3. But he doesn't totally look like the guy that we saw pre-injury. And then Porter, of course, isn't healthy either. So for them to be at the 3rd spot right now in the West with all that going on has been impressive. I like some of their offseason moves. You know, Bruce Brown was a nice pickup for them too. Aaron Gordon's been super efficient for them. So that's been significant. Yeah, we'll see what they do in the second half. My whole point to looking at the standings, though, is it continues to be bunched up. And I think if you're a Kings fan, that should excite you. It should excite you that if this continues to go on, they can string some good momentum on the home floor where they play 11 of the next 13, then we can have some real conversations of, can this be a playoff team? Can they be a top 6 team in the Western Conference? There's a chance, Morgan.
There's a path. There's a path.
Okay. When are you gonna really believe? When are you just gonna go, yeah, I see it.
Dude,
they have a chance.
I believe in so many things with this team. So that's why, like, just because I'm not there yet because I still believe in other teams that I've seen it from before. It doesn't mean that I'm dissing them. I'm a non-believer. It's just like I just want to see a little bit of something else.
Can I make my case for why that I really believe in the Kings?
You can say whatever the shit you want.
I know. One, in today's game, you need some offense. They've got offense, and they've got shooting. They've got a legit big, skilled big, and a speedy point guard. That's a great combination to have. The defense, I think, can become a top 15 defense. They're fun, and they're tight. They're super close together. You got this stuff doesn't happen when you don't miss the playoffs when you got a beam going in the first year and everyone's fired up. You don't miss the playoffs when this mojo feels like this, Morgan.
I didn't realize that was a thing. No, and
it's just the vibes feel real, man.
They do. Everything feels real. I was the one saying that this team is a legit good team before people felt confident enough to say that. You know what I mean? It's like, just because I look at a conference and I look at what other teams may or may not do before the trade deadline, I go, that's where things just are in my head, where I go, I'll believe it when I see everything kind of go together there.
CMT Kings fan sounds like kind of with you. People don't fully believe because there's at least 10 years of truly horrible basketball. Let's get to the halfway point and see where we are after facing a good amount of really good teams. My only pushback on that is I just feel like we keep moving, right? It's like, okay, hey, let's see after 10, 20, 30. It's like, all right, fine. Let's wait to judge till after 82.
No, judging, you're just trying to judge on a different scale. That's all you're doing. Like, we are judging from a different point of view. We're not judging from the amount of games. Like some people are saying, show me this amount of games. Some people are saying, show me a win against the Bucks, show me a win against the Sixers, and I'll believe it. Some people are just like, hey, show me with the way that you play against really bad teams and you crush the shit out of them. You know, there's different scales of how people want to see things, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, sports sometimes can also be subjective.
Morgan,
what?
I'm pointing to something you made. Brett mentioned it. It's your vision board.
I love my vision board.
You didn't make a vision board ever. This was your first year making the vision board.
It's a really cute vision board too.
I love it, man. It's a fun team.
It's beaming a lot of good. How crazy, someone had said this, how crazy would it have been if I had like put some beam on there before the beam even started? No, Deuce, it's not on there.
You sure?
No. Yes, I'm sure. I'm not a what would that be? A fortune teller?
Sure.
Wait, what would it be?
Jesse says Deuce and others just want to believe it's real. They want it so bad. I mean, of course I want to believe. And yeah, shit can hit the fan. I just think they have a combination of things, and based on where the West is at right now and where they are, they're tracking to have a real shot to be a playoff team.
100%. 100%. And no one can take that away from you. Enjoy the journey, not the conclusion.
I like it. Enjoy it. Just watch it. Let it unfold. Be like DZ, who says it's real.
Also, we didn't give a shout out. Thanks for Kenneth for donating another 50.
He did another?
Yes.
Give me a hell yeah.
Morgan, as we wrap things up, I want to ask you this. Overall, 3-3 road trip. Successful?
Successful question mark? That was, yeah, absolutely. Yes. I mean, that if they were 2-4, I think we would be like, okay, they lost like this. I'm happy about these things. We'd be really nitpicking on what we liked and disliked about the road trip. 3-3 on this road trip, and the way that they played against the Bucks, the way that they won the games that they did win, was super telling to the identity, the culture, everything that's growing and building in Sacramento right now, with not only the team, but even some of the individuals that we saw battling through things, having bounce back performances, and hey, getting playing time to not getting playing time, rotations, all those different things. I feel like we learned a lot about different players and the team.
Yeah, I mean, I thought 3-3 was no doubt about it going to be a success. And I think I love the fact that the three weren't just the last three. You know, I think looking at it, or not, they didn't, you know what I mean? Because
yeah,
I guess it wouldn't have been the last three. I'm getting everything mixed
No,
up.
no, no,
It was
but
the Bucks. Yeah.
No, the Bucks, they lost, but it wasn't a good
No,
loss.
I screwed this up. I'm just glad the three weren't just the Knicks, the Raptors, and the Pistons. I like the fact that they beat Cleveland and it was a good win. The Knicks game would have been, that's the one where you go, God, man, if you just had it that night, if you could just knock down some shots, you probably would have been 4-2. But the compete level in the Bucks game was great. The comeback against the Cavs was awesome. The Knicks game was shit. Pure shit. Sixers games couldn't stand it.
And it's a really good team that they played,
Yeah.
but they played like shit though. That was what was frustrating.
Yeah. And then the last two were great.
Yeah, no, that was how I think we've been describing all these games. And it's just, there was a lot of fun things from this road trip too, with just like the team, the chemistry, the comebacks, the style of play, a lot of good vibes.
Well, we appreciate you guys being on this journey with us together. Make sure to spread the word about the podcast, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. We're going to be back again Monday night from Las Vegas and following Kings and Hornets. Can't wait for the start of the homestand. We love you guys so much, but we gots to go.
You're all so badass for being here on a Friday night. Appreciate you so very much. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.